Peace, my name is Bobbito Garcia, aka Cool Bob Love, director, co-producer of the film Stretch and Bobbito, Radio That Changed Lives.
And I'm the Stretch, as in Stretch Armstrong, co-producer and music supervisor of the aforementioned film.
Greg Nice will call me, yo, Tupac's over here, we'll hang. But yo, KRS-One is coming over. And we just listen to y'all all night until it went off, every fucking week.
You sat here and you watch a bunch of motherfuckers get rich while you broke them and you blew them up, right or wrong?
That was the first spark. From there, things start happening.
Stretch and Bobbito, Radio That Changed Lives is a documentary feature about the history of a landmark show that Stretch and I produced in the 1990s. The film explores our narrative of how two quirky nerds essentially came together in this unlikely manner to become hip-hop heavyweights in a community that neither of us naturally fit in with initially. It's also the narrative of the artists that came through our show. 300 of them unsigned. To this point, 25 years later, have sold over 300 million records for those the ones who did get signed. And most endearingly, our listeners, the narrative of what they had to do to be dedicated to listen to our show at a very difficult time slot, Thursday nights from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. And all those sort of bob and weave and a sort of common thread to discuss what 90s hip-hop meant to all of us through the lens of our show.
Oh yeah, it's in some stores, but once we lock this distribution thing down, it's gonna be in all stores.
Okay.
Yeah, just got Rap Pick of the Week.
On what label?
A Rockefeller record.
So yeah, we're gonna go a little premiere. This is the B.I.G.
This is all live, New York.
Yo, this the big motherfucking Illmatic Nas. You know what I mean? Yeah, the album getting ready to come out in January. The name of that is Illmatic. At that point in time, your show was the most important show in the world.
Despite us not having had a professional collaborative relationship since 1998, we work very well together. And the foundation of that is just the amount of fun that we have in each other's presence. And making this movie has been... This is what I'm talking about. He's having fun already. This is not fun, but he's having fun. It was a real joy to make, not just about the fun that we've had, but also how much we got to learn about each other and about the experiences of the listeners and the experiences of the artists that we interviewed as well. So I've never made another I've never been involved in the making of another documentary. This is really all I know, but the material and what we're covering is very, very close to our hearts, and just rekindled a lot of the same feelings that we experienced back when we did the show.
It was a little signal on a little rinky-dink up station with a board from the 60s. Sometimes the left channel would drop out and I would have to punch the console and it'd pop back up.
I would go to school in front. You want this tape? $5. I sold y'all tapes. I made money.
First time I heard Protect Your Neck on y'all show, I might have jumped half my height.
Our film has already deeply touched a lot of people, in the manner that I think that we could have anticipated, but in other ways that we could never have. And I think the reason why is that it encapsulates a time that just can never be repeated. It will never be duplicated. It's an era in the past, and it's going to stay in the past. We're nostalgic about it. We don't miss it. We've moved on, but we'd like to pay homage to it. And so, there are people who have seen the film who have mentioned that it should be put in the Library of Congress in the United States as an educational piece. And that was part of the vision, but ultimately we just want people to have a ball and laugh. There's a lot of documentaries that are very serious, and we take the production serious, but there's a lot of humor infused in it, and so you get to get a range of emotions similar to what you had when you listened to our radio show. And that was the ultimate goal, was to allow people, whether you listened to us back then or not, to get a sense of what it was like to wait all week for a show that was very difficult to stay up for, but completely worthwhile.
Stretch and Bobbito, that was our dream. Felt like we made it. This is it.
We've sold close to 20 million records, and you guys were the guys who lit the fires for us.
You guys had opened the door for us, the next generation, to come through.
We didn't care if you were signed or unsigned, because this isn't for record sales, this isn't for the charts. This is hip hop.
If you look back in the States in the 90s, this question of, would a show like ours, could it exist now? And what does that say about the state of radio right now? In the 90s, even while we were on the radio, I was very aware of the effect that the deregulation of media in the States had on regional radio stations. That never affected us, but it affected the overall landscape of music, so that playlists in New York started to resemble playlists in Houston, Texas, started to resemble playlists in Los Angeles. And over time, mix show DJs who traditionally were on at night playing underground music, new music, music you would not hear in the daytime, music by artists that might never get the chance of being played on the daytime. Those DJs then started to play records by the same artists that were in rotation, and then eventually what they were playing was just the same music that you hear in the daytime, just mixed a little bit. And that's I think, kind of a tragic downward spiral that has really made the music start to be less special overall. With regards to, could a show like ours exist now? I think there are good shows out there. There are certainly shows with personality that are playing good music, but the need for our show, a need for a show like ours, perhaps is greater than it ever was right now. But it would never. It couldn't exist right now. I mean, anyone who gets a piece of music it's being shared by 1,000 other DJs. I mean, what we were doing was truly unique, and you had to stay up. And if you missed a show, you were damn well gonna make sure that your homeboy at school was gonna break you off with a dub the next day, because you were gonna miss something. Now it's impossible to miss something. Everything's out there. It's all on the internet.
You will never get this verse anywhere but on Stretch and Bobbito.
I raise hell to this heaven. Pretty good verses.